So I'm here backstage with Brandon Victor Dixon, who you probably know better as Hamilton's Aaron Burr, sir, and who I consider one of my new favorite history teachers. Ooh, yeah. Stage fancy. So I really love the distinction between Hamilton and Burr in the show. The battle between standing up loudly for what you believe in and staying quiet and working behind the scenes. It's one of the most interesting conflicts of the show. A couple weeks ago, you stood up and delivered a message to Vice President-elect Pence, more in line with Hamilton's position than Burr's. It was almost like it was important enough for even Burr to stand up and say something. What did you think about the irony of that message being delivered by Burr?
I think that the way I see Burr as relating very, very closely to Hamilton. It's just that he feels that Hamilton's methods are not the ones. That's not the way to move ahead. And I did find it a little ironic that I was the one who went ahead and delivered that message. But I think ultimately what's wonderful about Burr is that Burr is passionate. Burr just wants to be the one molding the union. That's really what it is. He wants to be in the room. He wants to have an influence. He wants to have a voice. That's his fight, to have a voice. And he doesn't recognize that he has a voice already. You just have to say what you're passionate about now. Say what you believe in. There's no point in waiting. And so I did find it ironic, but the element of being on stage that evening when Vice President Pence was in the room was, Burr was in the room, so Burr got to say what he needed to say because he felt like he was in the right spot.
That's a really cool interpretation of Burr that I never really thought of. So I also saw in an interview that you turned down a part in Hamilton a few times before accepting it. First of all, I couldn't be more happy that you changed your mind because you were amazing out there. But I also heard that you say you're more interested in creating characters than picking them up. What was it that finally made you change your mind and take your part?
The passion of my agents and friends. That's what's really solidified it. But I mean, that's what made me really start to consider it. But the truth is, when I started to listen to the material again and really listen to the songs and who Burr was, my brain, my creative engine started to get going. And I actually, while we were in negotiations, we hit a small obstacle for a moment, and I thought it might fall through. And what I actually said to myself one morning, I was like, this is really ironic because now you really want it. So thankfully it all worked out.
So I'm a homeschooler, and one of the ways I study is I find something that ignites my curiosity about a subject, and we dig in deeper and learn more. I look at Hamilton as one of those things. It can inspire you to learn more about history, and I heard you did a lot of research on the part. What are your thoughts on the educational aspect of Hamilton, and do you see yourself as an educator?
I do see myself as an educator. I think we must all see ourselves as educators. That's a responsibility that we have as members of our community and society to educate one another. The thing that I find really powerfully inspirational and educational about the story of Hamilton and how Lynn tells the story and how he built it is that, when we're in school, we tend to mythologize the founders of our country. We make them larger than life. We make them icons and beyond, without flaw and beyond compare. And Hamilton really brings them all down to earth, and we really see that they were real, normal people with ambition, with intelligence, but with flaws, with moral flaws, and with moral aptitude as well. And those things were in conflict within themselves and within their environment. And so I find that is one of the most powerful elements of the show, and I think that a lot of people identify with the show, one, because it reminds us that we as Americans are revolutionaries, and I think it also reminds us that these philosopher kings, as people like to describe the founders, that we're all capable of that. We all have a voice, we all have an intelligence, and we can apply our intelligence to creating the living environment, the communities, the country that we want. And so that ability to affect change in your environment, I think that the show empowers people to let them know that they have the power to mold America in the same way that these individuals that we mythologized for so long did.
Yeah. It's just so amazing to actually be able to be here interviewing you. Just thank you so much for taking a couple minutes to be interviewed, and thank you so much for playing the part.
No, my pleasure. Thank you, Dawn. It's been lovely to meet you and to get these questions from you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't want to get you in trouble for not showing up. So
no, I'm here.